All right, greetings. Welcome back to Blackburn News, where everything is connected. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Got a couple articles up on Patreon. Gonna read one now. I didn't read before. Tech dumb. Waymo cars stuck in a self-created traffic jam. Google hiding relevant answers. Google Maps taking you on the most congested or longest route. Social media hiding your posts. Social media censoring your posts. Convenience fees for services that used to cost 50 cents by mail now cost $2.50 to $5 via website. The digital world that could be cheaper, faster, friendlier, more open to free thoughts and free speech, a place where people can take part and benefit from new technologies, is now being turned into a giant scam machine, an inefficient hellhole that soon will require you to provide your ID, KYC, to access most sites, further throttling people's movements online. I'm a fan of these technologies, honestly. They are innovative and do open up people to so many possibilities. But just when the internet might have ushered in a true evolution/revolution for humanity, it is once again being co-opted by the swashbuckling, lawless pirates known as the ruling class. They can't have humanity waking up. They can't have you creating wealth and new fintech on your own. So they're shutting down crypto and privacy and all the great new nodes of freedom and creativity that might bring. They are doubling down on mass enslavement as the answer to all of their problems, as these technologies are now being turned on the average Joe to surveil and ultimately take away all remaining rights on the books. They'll do it with or without your blessing. Look at the UK arresting people for posts around the recent riots. Well, these people are racist. Of course, this should be fine, you say. But this is where it gets tricky. A few months from now, when you're criticizing the genocide in Gaza or action on climate change or any other such lies and deceit from the ruling class, how much of a stretch is it to take you in for an anti-Semitic or anti-government sentiment? When you are depersoned or deplatformed or imprisoned for your beliefs, how different is that from, say, Soviet Russia? The answer is none. You're falling for the three-card Monty of taking away someone's rights because it's the moral or safe thing to do. This is our future digital gulag. Is there time to back away to create alternatives that are people-centric, or how about nature-centric? To cast aside this eventual prison for something else? Many think not. But the window is closing. May have already closed. Somewhere in a factory in China, Korea, the Midwest, Mexico, they are building millions of robot dogs and humans to one day deploy in an emergency to keep people in their homes while the authorities clean up the mess under martial law. At this point, why would they ever let you out? Right? That's something new I wrote. That's up on Patreon, as well as the Invest in the Future thing I read the other day. So If you want to go check that out on Patreon, it is there. Also on Twitter too. I think those things are on Twitter. But word, what's up? I see old as dirt on Rockfin. See a few people here on the Black Bear News on the YouTube. A couple of people on the Rumbles. If you're on Rumble, give it a like or say hey or something like that. Anyways, good to see you. This isn't the new time for now, but I'm already feeling a little scrunched. I know you guys didn't get the notification for the show because I posted it kind of late. So it's hard for me to do the early morning show. I've got so many things going on, especially in the morning. So it's hard for me to get the show together and post it in time for people to actually see that it's happening or get the alerts or whatever. But Judy Truitt says you kept forgetting the time at 5 o'clock. Yeah. I don't know. We'll keep on with the 11 o'clock, but who knows? I might have to switch it around again. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out, y'all. I'm trying to figure out a schedule that does not leave me completely and utterly exhausted, and still be able to like do this show and do some music making and stuff like that. It's a difficult balance, but persevere we will. All right, you guys are here. That's great. Keep on coming in. If you're here, if you like the show, if you're here, if you're a supporter of the show, share the show with people. Post it wherever. Wherever you like. Let people know. Thanks, Judy. All right. Oh, Kier. Ew. Excuse me. It's all good. Whatever way y'all get here, get here when you can. All right. But I'm just trying to start as much on time as I can because I only have so much time in my day, and I want to at least cover these topics. Heat aggravated by carbon pollution killed 50,000 in Europe last year. Also, if you guys want to join the 24-hour chat, it is on Telegram. A few folks in Telegram are kicking back there. You know, we got some people that are active in there. And the folks in Telegram, thanks for contributing. But you can go to the Telegram thing and kind of share things with, it's kind of an enclosed chat, right? So it's not like Twitter where you're constantly inundated. You're not like Twitter. It's not like Twitter where you're constantly inundated by things that maybe some people don't want to see, or maybe do want to see it. I don't know. But maybe you don't like Elon Musk. That's fine too. But the Telegram chat is just like a little room where we're chatting. It's like a old school chat, right? So if you want to just have a chat amongst ourselves, that's the place to do it. So the link is in the description box. Just download you the Telegram and get in there. And it's just, I know some people like Discord, but I prefer the Telegram only because Oh, you don't want to install it, Malcolm Young? That's fine. I get it. Does Discord do the same? I have that question. Can you be more anonymous on Discord? That's people are app phobic, and that's fine. I actually Josh Ellis, who I read a few times on the channel, is working on developing a kind of a like a decentralized social media app. So if you want to learn about that, go to his page. No mandatory phone number on web-based Discord. All right. Well, that's good to know, Malcolm Young. That's good to know. My only issue with Discord is it just can be a little bit kind of, it feels like complicated and confusing a little bit. I know it's not that complicated, but I don't know. Discord can make me feel a little lost sometimes. Whereas Telegram to me just seems so much more kind of instinctually easy, but maybe that's just me. Yeah, and maybe that will end up being the thing one day, Malcolm. A bulletin board style forum, yeah. Sure. All right. The European continent is warming at a much faster rate than other parts of the world, leading to fires, droughts, and health problems. Well, it's kind of happening everywhere. Hot weather inflamed by carbon pollution killed nearly 50,000 people in Europe last year, with the continent warming at a much faster rate than other parts of the world. Findings come as wildfires tore through forests outside Athens. As France issued excessive heat warnings for large swaths of the country, and the UK baked through what the Met Office expects will be its hottest day of the year. Doctors call heat a silent killer because it claims far more lives than most people realize. The devastating mortality rate in 2023 would have been 80% higher if people had not adapted to rising temperatures over the past 2 decades. Elisa Gallo, an environmental epidemiologist at ISG Global and lead author of the study, said the results showed that efforts taken to adapt societies to heat waves have been effective. Sure. But the number of heat-related deaths is still too high, she warned. Europe is warming at twice the rate of the global average. We can't rest on our laurels. You're only going to adapt so much. You know, like, yes, whatever adaptation activities they've taken up. Yeah, it's yes, it's probably a lot of air conditioning, other things that may or may not be helpful to the planet in the future or people, that for that matter. It's the trap of air conditioning, right? Because for a while, air conditioning will be the thing that will keep people alive. Until it's not. Right? Until it's not. Until it gets so hot that the grid fails, and then you have no air conditioning, and then you're just abruptly slammed into whatever heat you're experiencing. So it's kind of a solution, but kind of not really. A better solution would be, shaded areas. Malcolm Young says earth tunnels. Yeah. Yeah. Air conditioning is a stopgap. But the other catch-22 of air conditioning is that it actually makes the situation worse. So you're using something that's going to save you for the moment, but will probably ensure that it doesn't save you later. And so But people will yell and scream that air conditioning, well, in the future, in the coming years, air conditioning will be a human right. But in the end, will only be available to those with the money to pay the electricity bills. That's how that's going to go. Right? You can install all the air conditioning you want, but if you can't pay the electricity bill, it don't matter. Nobody has any money for the aircon, it don't matter. You're going to herd people into, big stadiums and factories and warehouses with air conditioning as a, cooling centers. And then you're going to set up mass mortality events, because when you herd the people into these cooling centers and then the grid goes down and everybody's stuck in these cooling centers that are no longer cooling but heating rapidly, you're just going to put people in more danger. So yes, probably better ways to do it, like going underground. I'm still live. You guys are seeing me on Rockfin, right? Probably going underground, shaded. Living in shaded areas, helpful. Maybe elevated areas, helpful. Everybody watching the show, please like the show if you can. There are lots of ways to avoid, getting overheated. But if the entire Earth is heating very rapidly, then, at some point, there's not much you're going to do. Salt Laker's good. Good on you. Every little bit helps. But everywhere is getting hotter, so you already have some migration due to climate change. I'm sure it's a larger part than they're admitting in the migration over the U.S. border, right? They say it's mostly about economic conditions or people fleeing, war-torn situations, countries and such. But I'm sure some of those people are also escaping, situations that are compounded by climate change, right? Like, not being able to grow the food that used to be able to grow, right? Not being able to farm either for a living or on a subsistence level. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are escaping those situations as well. Hopefully, hoping that they can come here and keep themselves and their families going. Malcolm, the last war will probably be about who gets to occupy Antarctica. Yeah, maybe. Although Antarctica is now one-upping the Arctic as far as abnormally hot temperature for this season, right? There, let's see. Roger Hallam posted this: man jailed for 3 years for assaulting female police officer. Roger Hallam says, I got 5 years for planning to disrupt catastrophic carbon emissions. Seem fair? Of course not. He's not in custody yet, I don't think. Or maybe he is. I don't know. Is he tweeting from jail? I don't know. But it is a little bit over the top, right? Which makes me think that oh, what's up, Antoine? Thanks for coming over. Appreciate it. Makes me think that it's hard for me to believe that Roger Hallam is some kind of inside agent when he's getting 5 years in the clink, but what do I know? Trump and Elon Musk had a conversation lately. I didn't really listen to it because I didn't really want to. And I can only imagine what a weird conversation that would be. So I don't really need to listen to it. My imagination, I think, is good enough. The dumbest climate conversation of all time. Experts on the Musk-Trump interview. And, knowing what I know that Trump thinks about climate change, even though he built a seawall around his Scottish golf course to protect against rising sea levels. So he obviously knows that climate change is happening and that the seas are rising. But what he says out loud about it is a different thing. Like most politicians. The dumbest climate conversation of all time. Experts on the Musk-Trump interview. Trump talked about nuclear warming, while Musk said the only reason to quit fossil fuels is that their supply is finite. Okay. Donald Trump and Elon Musk both made discursive, often fact-free assertions about global heating, including the rising sea levels, would create more oceanfront property. So there you go. Invest in the future. Well, I mean, when I read that, Delene, I actually thought of you. And I thought, would you agree with that statement, Delene? Anyways, I'm just being funny. Nuclear warming. There was no urgent need to cut carbon emissions during an event labeled the dumbest climate conversation of all time by one prominent activist. Trump, the Republican U.S. presidential nominee, and Musk, the world's richest person, dwelled on the problem of the climate crisis. During their much-hyped conversation on X, formerly known as Twitter and owned by Musk, on Monday, agreeing that the world has plenty of time to move away from fossil fuels, if at all. You sort of can't get away from it at this moment, Trump said of fossil fuels. I think we have, perhaps hundreds of years left. Nobody really knows. Former U.S. president added that the rising sea levels caused by melting glaciers would have the benefit of creating more oceanfront property. Trump, who famously once called a climate crisis a hoax, also said it is a disgrace that Joe Biden's administration did not open up a vast Arctic wilderness. But he did. It's just so wild, though, The misinformation on both sides is just blatant and just if not infuriating, kind of demoralizing. But anyways, I mean, he's lying, to his base about something that that the Biden administration actually did, which actually should concern the people that think that the Biden administration cares about climate change or cares about them, to reconsider their thoughts on that. But there's so much misinformation and just straight out on both sides. They're absolutely like just throwing out so much misinformation. Nobody knows what's what. Claim baselessly that but it's funny because what would the left say to this? Oh, wrong. Trump is wrong again. He totally opened up the Arctic to drilling. Is that something you want to fact check him on? I don't know. Anyways. It's just funny. The one thing I don't understand is that people talk about global warming and they talk about climate change, but they never talk about nuclear warming. No, they don't. Musk, meanwhile, said it was wrong to vilify the oil and gas industry. Absolutely. Said the man developing electric cars. The key driver of planet heating pollution, and the only imperative to ditch fossil fuels was that they will one day run dry. If we were to stop using oil and gas right now, we would all be starving and the economy would collapse. He's right. Ding, 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 ding. He's absolutely right. Which is why we're in a predicament, a conundrum. We're in a predicament. We do, over time, want to move to sustainable energy economy because eventually you do run out of oil and gas. We still have quite a bit of time. We don't need to rush, and we don't need to stop farmers from farming or prevent people from having steaks or basic stuff like that. Like, leave the farmers alone, Elon Musk said. Musk said the main danger of allowing carbon dioxide to build up in the atmosphere was that at some point it would become difficult to breathe, causing headaches and nausea to people. This would occur with CO2 at about 1,000 parts per million of the Earth's atmosphere, more than double the current record-breaking concentrations. I mean, it's already making people dumber. And here are the results. Here are the results. Anyways. Yeah. I mean, you only really have to just pay attention to what's actually happening to know that something is happening. Anyways. Malcolm Young says, I don't have to outrun the bear, just outrun you. Deep adaptation will get some of us through the food shocks, and it will be paradise on the other side, but first Babylon is going to burn. Yeah. Exactly what I was saying. There will be the people that will have something in the bank, or maybe it's not even about what you have in the bank, but maybe what you have in what is it Chris Martinson calls it? I can't remember. Things that will keep you alive, right? Having a garden, maybe living far away enough from civilization that you can actually not be accosted and overrun. I don't know. How long is it going to take for a couple billion people to Going South says gun locker? Well, the thing is that let's think through a very morbid scenario. Um, major catastrophe, major city runs out of power and or water or both. And you have a few million people, or maybe 4 to 5 million people, depends on the size of the city, trying to escape. Well, first of all, depending on how soon you get out, the roads will immediately become blocked because people are going to crash. People are fools. People are desperate. It won't be orderly. Even if it was orderly, a few million people trying to leave all at once from a city when shit is really hitting the fan is going to pretty much stop things to a standstill. So, escaping is going to be difficult by car. You'll have a few that make it. So you still have most of the millions stuck and fanning out on foot, looking for things to eat and to drink, or to keep warm or whatever, keep cool. You're going to have, so you're going to have like everything edible in a certain radius getting eaten. If it's cold outside, you're going to have every tree possible cut down to keep people warm. It's not going to be pretty, right? I'm just talking about one city, but there are several that have few million or more than a few million. And how long is it going to take for people to expire, right? Like you're going to be only the toughest, right? The craftiest and the toughest will, make it beyond this destruction zone into the woods and the wilderness, So if you're far out enough, you might be able to escape, being overrun. And you might be able to like set up some kind of a protection zone, Only psychopaths will survive, possibly. Psychopaths are people that are survival brings out a lot in people, just like any kind of a existentially threatening situation will bring out a lot in people, And I'm sure there's plenty of really nice people out there who will turn super vicious if they have to. Anyways, how we got on that subject, I don't know. But we're far from having real conversations about the climate because, the next level of intelligent conversation around this is, what most people would accept as like the liberal, lefty, we can make it if we invest in new technology, adaptation, and there's arguments about what that means or what it does or, right, that's our way out. They accept climate change is real, and there might be, there's rifts between the Michael Manns and the James Hansons of the world. How bad is it? How bad off are we? Do we still have a chance? Do we still have hope? And the ones selling you the gadgets and the products and the hope that, civilization will survive if only we do the right thing. Maybe they really believe that, or maybe they're just hucksters trying to keep civilization going for a little while more. Or maybe they're just trying to fleece you of the last remaining monies you have in the bank. So it's hard to put my faith in those folks as well. This might be the dumbest, climate convo, But they're, you know, the misleading climate convos are, you should also be extremely wary of. Extremely wary. What? Can COVID mess up your foot overnight? Say what? And it doesn't really matter whether you believe that climate change is real or not. You can already see that there are things happening, and if you want to just think it's the heart machines and that's all it is, and if they only would stop chemtrailing, well then everything would go back to normal. If you want to believe that, that's fine too. But maybe maybe apportion that belief to one particular sector of your brain, and with another part of your brain go, maybe it could be climate change, and maybe I should prepare, or just think about what that might mean if this actually is climate change and it actually is accelerating, and the future looks like this, a lot more of this. Well, what do? Apportion a little part of your brain to the idea that maybe this could be right. Maybe this could be happening. Because it actually doesn't make it easier for you to just not believe it, totally and completely not believe it at all. It doesn't really, I mean, at this point, it's just a trope of the right or the libertarians. It's a trope. It's just a well-worn, you just repeat the line. But, if you were actually a truly thinking person, you would go, I see all the available scenarios playing out, and I give, maybe I don't give climate change that much importance, but, it's just a better way to think about things. Honestly, like if you think of percentages of what you might give your faith in, right? Like everybody loves this black and white thinking these days. It's the new, black and white is the new black. Black and white thinking is the new black, where it's got to be one way or the other. It's got to be Kamala or Trump. It's got to be, climate change is fake or it's totally real. And only, you can only think one way about it. You'd actually include a lot of ways to think about it. That's actually intelligence. That's a sign of intelligence. You could say, like, I give this scenario a certain percentage of, possibility. I give this other scenario a certain, a low percentage of possibility. Right? But you keep it in play. You keep that other scenario in play. And if you see that other scenario start to go, whoop, you see more evidence supporting that other scenario, then you go, oh, yeah, I need to switch my scenario. I need to switch my percentage of possibility, that this is the way it's actually playing out over here. That's fine to do. That's what thinking people do. And, the left and the right can agree on the ever, more believable fact that the powers that be are just trying to, lead you down a primrose path as far as, well, what do we do about climate change? Well, let's get some carbon taxing and let's get some carbon trading and carbon, credits going. And let's sell everybody new efficiency stoves and some cars. And, that's what they want to tell you is but they don't care, right? So we can all agree on that. The left and the right can agree on all that the people in charge don't have your best interests in mind and don't have the real answers to climate change. So we can all come together on that. Anyways. But, having an open mind is having an open mind, open to other possibilities in your viewfinder of how you see the world. That's having an open mind. Even if there's a part of you that's like, that's crazy. That could never be true. Also, you should also like allow like a small percentage of, but if it is true, what do I do? Yeah, boy. Sorry, I just wanted to do Flavor Flav all of a sudden. Hemp Car, what's up? Thanks for the tip. Navy said that they'll power their fleet on seawater. Why is no one talking about hydrogen fuel cell cars or hemp bio diesel? The most egregious propaganda is usually never entirely false. Noam Chomsky said this in his book, Hegemony or Survival. Zero population growth, have no more than 2 kids and adopt if you want more. Andrew Hargadon, Kevin, fan of your work, appreciate your work. Have you ever heard of David Bloom, author of Alcohol Can Be a Gas? I think he would be a great guest for your show. Okay. I'll check him out. Thanks, man. Anyways, avoid the black and white thinking is what I'm trying to tell you. If you know the media or the powers that be or your friends or somebody has got you into this thing where like, no, that's everything is, you know, one way or the other, right? And everything is you know, has to conform to these boundaries of thought. You know, it's this way or no way at all, man. If you're thinking like that, you know, when you have a self-realization moment and you go, huh, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm thinking about this, you know, pause. Consider a pause, you know, from the knee-jerk, you know, going down that road. Shit, going south, that doesn't sound good. Is it swollen? Just hurting? You were going to say listen to soul music? Also a good thing to do. You know, sure. Soul music, reggae music, also really good and uplifting and relaxing. Breaking absolute chaos at Citibank this morning as climate activists dressed up as bankers invade the lobby. Hundreds of bankers stranded outside. Arrests starting soon. I'm with it. Look at all those guys. We're just bankers, man. We're just bankers. We're just trying to go to work. We're just bankers. Did you step on something? Did you twist something? Could be circulatory problem. I don't know. Well, my cure for pretty much anything is drink a shitload of water and take some vitamin C. That's my cure for like 90% of everything. First thing I do if anything is happening, I drink a shit ton of water. I just start downing water, downing like, you know, a gallon of water right away. So there you go. May not help, but it'll probably clear up a lot of some other things. All right. Uh, ice. There you go. Ice. Ice. Let's look at this. It does. Dehydration really does cause a lot of issues. I don't know. It just works for me. Like, if I feel a twinge of anything, I just start down in water. And like 9 times out of 10, it clears whatever's going on, clears up. Don't know what that's about, but you never hurt your foot? Not vanilla ice. No, salt lickers. Don't take vanilla ice. Barbacoa? Barbacoa? Is he trying to say barbecue? Barbacoa. Get you some barbacoa. That's good. Okay. I'll check it out. Yeah. Yeah, and keep if you can, keep movement going if you can. All right. Oh, if you like the show, guys, if you like this show, if you like it, Hemcar already threw down a tip on Rockfin, but if you enjoy the show and you support the show and you want the show to keep on going, you can throw a couple bucks my way, and that really does help. Really, really does help the show keep going. There's links in the description box, all the ones that people are familiar with: PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, coffees. There's Super Chat, Super Raise, Rumba Rants, Rumba Rants. There's Patreon. There's all kinds of ways to support the show. And to the people that already support the show, you know who you are, and I appreciate you. Adam McKay says, I think it's hard for most people to believe our government and 100-year-old news outlets would possibly downplay or ignore something as apocalyptic as global climate collapse. Yep. Some people think they're playing it up, and other people think they're playing it down. Which one is it? I don't know. Confusion. I've spoken to many of these people, and I can tell you they have almost no interest or no clue. I mean, I think that's what the powers that be, or the powers that want to be, are trying to do, is trying to, they're using climate change as a thing. Like, climate change is real bad, and what we need you all to do is get on board with what we propose as the solution. Sure. They don't want, if they tell you it's too bad, then everybody, runs screaming for the hills. Or everybody's like, you guys, allowed all this to happen, and, maybe even promoted it. And now we're really pissed at you. What are you going to do? What are we going to do? So they don't want to tell you it's too bad. They just want to tell you it's bad enough to do something about something, right? And give you the nice, safe. Well, if you get on this app, it'll tell you how much carbon intake you're doing daily, and then you can adjust yourself accordingly. That's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. You got to start shutting shit down, right? Like all the way down. And get away from all these super suckers, right? So, yeah, there's a lot of confusion out there. Lots. Who knows which way is up? I've spoken to many of these people. I can tell you they have no interest, no clue. So he's retweeting. This is a thread, I think. Jeff Berardelli, it's not just you. It's been a hot summer, and yes, it's getting less bearable. So far in 2024, Tampa has had 48 days. Whoa, that was weird. What the heck just happened? That was freaking weird, man. Yo, man, there's some weird things going on my computer. Yo. All right. Tampa's had 48 days with a heat index of 103 plus degrees. The record for the entire year is 65, set last year. And annual average is 16. So up about, well, right now up about threefold, and the record is up, you know, what is that, fivefold or more? It's not a coincidence. It's climate change. All of their incentives, whether they be advertising dollars, political dollars, or career advancement and identity, are based on the 20th century worldview. I have found establishment liberals to be the worst. Ding, 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 because they purport to believe the science while delaying action. Exactly. When people tell you what you want to hear with the intention of doing the opposite of what they're saying, it is more damaging, right? When Trump was in office, he was out and out, you know, a climate denier, and it actually woke up. It woke up people around climate change. It made people angry. It made people go like, that guy is not doing, you know, is doing the shittiest things, and we've got to, you know, stand up against this, right? But if somebody's like, yeah, we got you, we're taking action, we're doing the things, and then they, you know, you find out a couple months later, oh, not only did they not do the things that they said they were going to do, they did the bad things that the other bad guy was doing. More so. And everybody's like, oh, okay. Right? Because they're like, I don't know how to fit this into my brain, because I thought, like, surely this was the answer. Anyways, 3, even worse, these status quo moderates occupy the space in government, news, and culture that normally would be filled with actual grown-ups committed to doing their job rather than advancing a careerist, strategic view of reality, removing stakes, risk, and accountability. Damn, that was a damn good post, Adam McKay. Damn good post. We should. A Black Bear Climate Co-op? Yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. All right, y'all. It's been great. It's been grand. Joseph Wood is in Rockfin. Joseph says the thermal mass of civilization is causing global warming. The talk about what cars run on is moot. The very roads are not sustainable. Yeah. Tires. It's just so funny when people are like, electric cars. I'm like, but what makes the car? What's the car made out of? Oil. It ain't made out of electricity. Most of that car is plastic. Metal, rubber, oil. Rubber, metal, oil. Takes a lot of oil to make an electric car. Yeah. Anyways. Humans have a religious belief in civilization and their place in the world. Yeah, sure. 0 is the start. The materials have to go back where they came from, and biocomplexity has to be revitalized. Indeed. Exactly. Spot on. Indubitably, etc., etc. Well, I'm at the end of my time, guys. Sorry, I know a lot of you showed up kind of late, and but the new time is 11 a.m. Pacific. That's the new time for now, for the time being. That's the new time. So I'll see you all tomorrow. I don't know when I'm going to do a brain fallout. I know I was saying they were on Wednesdays, but not sure. For now, we're doing another Black Bear News tomorrow, and I'll figure out what day I'm going to do brain. I mean, maybe it'll just be next Wednesday. I don't know. But I'll see you all tomorrow at 11. Thank you for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience, and especially for the conversation. And where am I at? Until next time, peace.